jump in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was cool.
But it was all wood inside, like you could walk through.
Mm-hmm. And we're just walking through while he's on stage, and they're walking us through, and this tree just blows up out of nowhere.
And alligators are coming
and
by,
I'm looking over and I'm like, hey, this is Tom Petty. He's like, hey guys, those things just don't happen.
Well, one of my favorite stories for me is when we were at Strawberries and Alice Cooper came in.
He was delivered in a trash barrel.
Crap out of me. He came in one of the big roll-along trash barrel bins, and I guess, what was I, downstairs helping out? I think, was it Captain
He came in one?
Well, he
was the record, his record at the time was Trash. That was the name of the album.
So he was coming in a trash can.
Here's the thing, okay? It was one day before he was going to go and shoot Wayne's World.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Okay? He had the script with him.
Oh, well, he was pretty much on his game right then.
Feed My Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he came delivered in this trash barrel, and he comes out, and we're talking, of course, talking about Sgt. Pepper the movie, which he was trying to get. He was trying not to remember that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And he pulls out his script, and she's sitting there looking at it. And of course, she was just a little not knowing how to pronounce the words.
But before he even came out, he scared the living hell out of me just coming out of a trash barrel. Because I didn't expect anything. It's normal to see these in the warehouse that they're walking by and just rolling them along and tossing whatever in. And all of a sudden this makeup guy comes flying out of the thing.
He was he was in his leather garb back then. And his hair, he at this point he did have the wrinkles. He had already gone through the alcohol thing. And his hair was dyed black, but it was sort of greasy.
We'll have to bring by the pictures, because I still got the pictures of that. Well, I have one of the pictures of that. And I think we still have one with David Cassidy.
Yep. She was looking at the script for his Wayne's World thing. And it came to the area where it said, the Milwaukee Indians. And she wasn't so hot on long words at that time. She looked at it, and she was syllabically saying it. And she says, Milwaukee. He says, no, that's not it. Wait, say that again? And she said, Milwaukee. He goes, that's not what I see, but that's what I'm going to use. So that's how he ended up using that in the Wayne's World movie. He was talking about...
I need money. Alice Cooper, where are you?
That was because of what she had said.
Uh-huh.
So I thought that was cool. We were on the Paul McCartney recordings for Trippin' Live Fantastic, Worcester, Mass. She got to give him a kiss backstage.
Kissed him on the cheek, happy birthday, and we wrote on that big sheet wall thing. It was like a sheet everybody was signing, but they had it on it was like a closing rack or something.
Just something like that. It was really huge. Capitol Records had the big Capitol logo on the bottom.
Everybody got to say their piece and, hey, Paul, I'm your fan.
So that was cool.
Who is the cool record label now? What is is there a cool record label now?
They've all been leveled.
Is it 4AD? Does that still exist? That seemed like...
It's still around, but it's not.
It's not the cool label.
Well, Epic's still big, right?
No? Anything.
I thought Epic was still pretty big.
Yeah, see, Atlantic was cool, and I always thought that the one you and I talked about it before. I can't remember what. I can't even remember. And a lot of people thought that RS was cool. It went through their period, but although I was not impressed that much, but they got a lot of distribution.
I'm still very partial to anything EMI's done.
EMI is cool. But what was I'm trying to think what was the one that I thought was so cool. I can't think of it now. Anyway, EMI was definitely in there. I can't think. Name some more. Like
Apple, Paul had MPL.
Well, okay, there you go.
My memory doesn't work. We shouldn't.
If we're going to go back,
we shouldn't.
I would say
even bother with stuff that doesn't.
VJ Records.
VJ was definitely cool. Okay, all right. Gus Statiris. Okay, back to the story of Gus Statiris. Gus Statiris negotiated the deal between the Beatles and the VJ record. Wow. He negotiated the VJ record deal for the first Beatle album. That was something. That was one of his contributions.
If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have had my tonsils taken out.
Tell it now.
Okay, no, seriously. I would not see. My sister had gotten really, really ill, so they decided to do the package deal, and they decided to have my brother and I done at the same time.
My goodness.
And I was just totally against this whole thing. And I said, I told my mom, I said, the only way I'm going to do is you're going to get me introducing the Beatles, both the East Coast, West Coast, both mono and stereo. And I said, you got to get me one that has the Beatles spelled Beattles.
Was that accidental? Or,
It was on purpose accidental. They used to make automatic collector's items this way.
Okay.
And then I needed 2 boxes of Beatle bubblegum cards, sealed. And whatever 45 was available at the very moment.
So you get
my mother succeeded.
How much did all that cost?
Oh, back then it wasn't bad.
It sounds like a pretty big order, doesn't
Now
it?
it'd be like
An album was
$1.67.
$1.67. 45s were anywhere between 33 and 55 cents tops.
Maybe.
And that was actually expensive.
So it was probably like under $10 for the whole lot.
Well, the bubblegum cards, well, no, they would have added up a little because they were 5 cents.
I think.
5 cents. This would have been the first series, the yellow pack.
In 63 or something like that, 64.
Actually, and shortly after that, let's see, I started first grade, and then I almost got kicked out because I brought in "She Loves You" from Swan Records, which was part of that still VJ Dick Clark package with Tolly Records, and my teacher, Mrs. Findell, she's gone. I'm sorry. She decided that it was totally outrageous for me to bring this in for show and tell. Only because it said "Don't drop out" on the label.
Oh, what's wrong with that? No, it's
Well, "Don't drop out" was supposed to be a message to the girls. Play this loud, but don't scream so much that you're gonna. Don't. Well, there were a bunch of meanings to it. It could have been the Jimi Hendrix thing too. But in any case, I have pictures of Mrs. Findell trying to suspend me from school for bringing in "She Loves You." And I mean, everybody loved the song, but she's this long-haired mop top. And I'm like, boy, if I'm going to get kicked out, it might as well be for the Beatles.
Right.
That would have been worth it. And I'm sure my school records are probably held by somebody somewhere because it says that in it.
Oh, like when I skipped class to win the radio contest or whatever at Christmas time, and I called you up and I said, I'm skipping class, and you're just like, oh, as long as it's for a good cause.
What was the cause?
It was tickets for some show at Christmas time back home.
Oh.
I don't know what band it was, but I was like, I had the radio in my pocket all wired up under my hoodie and everything in class, and then I skipped class for like a whole period just to go out, use the payphone 100 times and go to the radio station. But yeah, I called him up and told him what I was doing, and he was like, as long as it's for a good cause.
It's rock and roll.
Right.
But I definitely miss the way business used to be back then. I love being the one, be able to go into the club or the street corner or whatever and discovering the band and trying to pedal them around for the first time.
Yeah.
I was able to experience helping out with the TLC when they first came around. With their first album, even though they just lip synced for all their shows at that point.
A lot of people did. That was very common back then. Less acceptable nowadays.
Definitely.
Do you? Would you like to do more of that kind of thing anymore, or not? Or
I would love to. No, I would love to do that. I mean, because that's the whole fun about.
Because we're doing a lot of that, like with Mount Dungeon and stuff, just getting sort of bands some exposure and stuff like that.
Because if you could be the liaison of, getting them up and finding them and go, and you have to have a passion for the group in the first place,
right?
And or the sound or whatever they're working.
Yeah, I really do have to too, or else
you'll pass them over.
I will. I'll get over it pretty quick unless I'm absolutely sold on it. And it's been a long time since I've heard anything I'm really sold on, too. things are sounding better lately than they have for a good while. I worked with some stuff a while back that, but bands did as bands will and broke up and what have you, and or passed me by as soon as they got a better deal.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, that kind of stuff.
But
would you be interested in helping get the legal end together and stuff, and helping see that kind of stuff doesn't happen? Do you know how to get the contracts together and work a band? Can you work a band?
I guess you can relearn. I mean, it's been a very long time since I've been able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as I've been in North Carolina, I've just had to work. So
Right.
I can, I want.
Yeah, this is a right to work state. Did
Yeah,
you have you heard?
yeah. Well, but I want to make sure that the dollar I'm earning is for and from me. I don't want to do it for and from somebody else anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be careful how I say that.
Yeah.
I don't want to worry about
piece of the
tomorrow. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
worry about. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm doing that today and yesterday. You know, I mean, I just had my car taken care of and all that other stuff, and that's that paycheck. I just
Right.
got it electronically. I electronically lost it.
All right.
That's not fun.
Maybe it was never really there to be.
But I would like, if you have your special spots and things like that, and or the special bands that are coming around, and like I said, you have to have a passion for whoever you're chasing after, or finding.
Yeah.
Or a key song that is going to make it, but they just they need your help just for a minute to get over that next level.
Mm-hmm.
Take them through a few shows.
Oh dear, I did that wrong. It's blown. I've blown it now.
But did you ever see that thing you do with Tom Hanks?
I don't think so.
Oh, you need to see that.
It's a movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of stretched a little bit, but Gary Getzman has his hands in all that, everything, the behind the workings of it. And he was with Epic and CBS way back, and gave it some authenticity to how the record labels used to work things and get bands playing with super stadiums back then.
Yeah,
It was just a lot of
working
fun.
From the ground up,
I mean,
finding them locally.
yeah.
And
I mean, if
getting them a gig.
if you can, music is fun, and if it moves you, then that's, but if it doesn't do anything for you, it's not going to do anything for anybody else either.
Right. Right.
So many people now that are out there.
They're pouring their
recording.
heart out, but they're...
Well, not even that. I mean, a lot of people are just slapping some stuff together, getting out, playing it, making some money off of it, and then getting ticked off when people are interested or they want to talk to them. I love the thing about the local scene is you can go up to a band and say, "Oh, what inspired you to do this?" or "Why are you doing it?" rather than, "Oh my God, I'm your fan," and I have to push everybody out of the way to go talk to you, or it's like unapproachable.
All right. I think I'm gonna run final credits and finalize this disc. And I'm pretty tired today.
Yeah.
I bet the nighttime viewing audience is tired too. It's time to go to bed now. But just before you do, just before you go to bed, we're gonna show you our last roll of credits, and we're gonna see if we've got some music on. This is what we got here. Check it out. And this is the way we'll be leaving you with the Mad Scientist Tea Party tonight.
It's the monks.
The monks. It's the monks.
They get hungry for communion.
You get hungry. Give me a wafer. Bring it on.
Anarchy TV.